If you're over 60 and want to take better care of your health at home, you're in the right place. Welcome to Senior Vitality Podcast, where we share simple senior health tips to help you stay active and independent.
Okay, I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture yourself at 105 years old.
All right, I'm with you.
What do you see? I mean, for most of us, if we're honest, it's probably, a comfortable chair, a nice view, a lot of rest.
Sure, that's the standard picture.
But the case we're looking at today just completely shatters that. We're talking about a man who, at 105, was working 18-hour days.
18 hours.
Climbing stairs 2 at a time, and was still actively treating patients.
It's one of those cases that really forces you to rethink what the biological limits of old age even are. It just challenges that whole idea that decline is inevitable.
It totally does. So today we are doing a deep dive into the life and, more importantly, the specific prescription of Dr. Shigeki Hinohara.
He was a Japanese physician who practiced medicine until just weeks before his death in 2017.
And if you're listening right now and you're feeling a bit burned out by all the complex health advice, the biohacking, the supplements, the ice baths, this is going to be a breath of fresh air.
Right, that's really the why for this deep dive. We've got this huge stack of sources, Dr. Hinohara's own writings, plus modern research from places like Tohoku University and Harvard. And the thread that ties it all together is, well, it's simplicity.
It's all very analog.
Exactly. It's not about high-tech gadgets. It's about high-frequency habits.
So here's the roadmap for what we're unpacking. We've got 3 main pillars. First, Dr. Hinohara's unconventional rules for life, including a really controversial take on retirement.
A take that might make a few financial planners a little nervous.
I bet. Second, a specific science-backed bedtime routine. 5 simple movements that claim to reverse aging in your joints and basically fix your sleep.
And we're going to get into the mechanics of that. There's some fascinating data on synovial fluid and spinal decompression.
I definitely want to know how that works.
Yeah.
And third, a longevity diet cheat sheet that has some real surprises. I actually saw peanut butter and jelly in our notes, and I thought it was a typo.
It is definitely not a typo. The data behind a certain kind of PB&J is, well, surprisingly robust.
I cannot wait for that. But let's start with the man himself, Dr. Hinohara. An 18-hour day as a centenarian. It just sounds impossible. What kind of mindset do you need for that?
Well, it really boils down to how he defined energy. Most of us, in the West, we think of energy like a battery.
Yeah.
You use it up, then you have to recharge by doing nothing.
Right, you rest.
But Hinohara argued that energy comes from feeling good. And feeling good comes from purpose, from contribution. And that leads directly to his most controversial idea, retirement.
Which was basically don't do it.
Or, if you have to, wait until you're much, much older than 65. He looked at it historically. The retirement age of 65 was set in Japan and in most of the West about half a century ago. Do you know the average life expectancy was then?
I'm guessing a lot lower than today.
It was around 68 years old, so the math made sense. You work, you retire, you get maybe 3 or 4 years of rest, and then you're gone. The system was designed for that timeline.
But now you retire at 65 and you could easily live to 90 or 100. That's decades of nothing.
A huge void. But, and this is a key distinction, he wasn't saying you should grind away at a corporate job you hate until you're 90.
Okay, because that sounds awful.
Right. It wasn't about labor for a company. He believed that until you're 60, you work for your family, for yourself. But after that, you should work for society. He volunteered. It was about being useful. He felt that the moment you stop contributing, you start dying.
That lines up with that concept of ikigai, that reason for being. But he also had some very physical habits. The stairs rule really stuck out to me.
Yes. He never, ever took an elevator, and he always took the stairs 2 at a time.
2 at a time. At 100, I mean, that sounds like a fall risk.
It does, but his logic was all about what he called incidental exercise. He called it pushing the muscles. Think
Okay.
about it. Taking steps 2 at a time engages your glutes and quads way more intensely.
It's more like a lunge.
Exactly. It requires more balance, more power. He was constantly telling his body, hey, we still need these muscles. Don't let them go.
So instead of an hour at the gym and 10 hours sitting, he just made the world his gym.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Okay, let's talk about his diet, because this is usually where longevity advice gets really restrictive. But his was just odd.
Stupidly simple is the phrase I'd use. And yeah, it kind of breaks a few modern nutritional rules.
Okay, walk us through it.
Breakfast was coffee, milk, and orange juice with a tablespoon of olive oil mixed in,
Wait, in the juice, straight olive oil.
right in the glass. He swore by it for his arteries and for his skin. And, modern science actually backs this up. Replacing saturated fats like butter with olive oil can reduce mortality risk by almost 20%.
Okay, I can get behind the olive oil, but lunch is where he loses me. Milk and cookies.
Or often nothing at all if he was dizzy.
A lot of nutritionists would have a heart attack hearing cookies. That's sugar, that's processed carbs.
It is, but it's all about context and, more importantly, volume. He practiced harahachi, but the idea of eating until you're only 80% full.
Ah, so it was a form of caloric restriction.
Precisely. If his total daily intake was super low, the body just handles those simple carbs differently. His dinner was the main meal. Veggies, fish, rice, lean meat only twice a week.
So the real lesson isn't eat cookies, it's eat way less overall.
Exactly. He thought we over-medicalize everything. He had this great philosophy that fun is the best painkiller.
What does that mean?
He used this analogy of a kid with a toothache. If you start playing a game with that kid, they completely forget about the pain because their focus shifts.
So he applied that same logic to aging and health.
He did. He thought hospitals should be filled with music and animals and art. He believed we obsess way too much over the data, the blood pressure, the glucose, and not enough about just feeling good.
That's such a refreshing take. But speaking of mindset and resilience, we have to talk about the hijacking. When I read this part, I had to double check I was reading about the same person.
It's an absolutely incredible story. It's 1970. Dr. Hinahara is 59 years old. He's on a flight, and it gets hijacked by the Japanese Communist League Red Army faction.
So he's a hostage.
For 4 days, he was handcuffed to his seat in 40 degrees Celsius heat. That's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
And most people will be panicking, right?
Yeah.
Hyperventilating.
Look.
But Hinohara, he viewed the whole thing as a medical experiment.
You're joking. He's thinking, let's observe my own physiological response to trauma.
Yes, that's exactly what he was doing. He was fascinated by how the body slows down in a crisis. He was monitoring his own heart rate, his own responses to the heat and fear. He detached from the fear by becoming the observer.
That's a level of mental control that is just hard to even imagine.
It's the ultimate reframing. And he said that experience gave him a second life. He felt like everything after age 59 was a bonus, which is what fueled his desire to serve.
Okay, so that's the philosophy. Purpose, resilience, eat less, take the stairs. But I want to pivot now to the really practical part. The sleep routine. This is what caught my eye because sleep is such a battleground for so many of us.
It is, and this is the part that you can literally try tonight.
The sources say that for people over 60, but really for anyone with a stressful life, the problem isn't always insomnia. It's not necessarily a chemical thing.
Right. The research points to something called unresolved tension. Your nervous system has an on switch, that's your fight or flight, and an off switch, rest and digest. The problem is we carry the tension of the day, the tight shoulders, the clenched jaw, into bed with us.
So the switch gets stuck halfway.
Exactly. You're lying in bed, but your body is still braced for impact. And if your body is braced, your brain thinks there's a threat, so it will not let you fall into deep restorative sleep.
So we need a manual override. We have this 5-step routine, the 5 nightly moves. I want to go through these one by one.
Let's do it.
Okay, move number 1, legs up the wall.
It's deceptively simple. You lie on your back, get your hips as close to a wall as you can, and then just extend your legs straight up the wall
And just stay there.
for 3 to 5 minutes. But the why is what's important. You are literally reversing gravity. All day long, fluid pools in your lower legs. This causes that heavy, swollen feeling.
Right.
By inverting, you boost lymphatic drainage by nearly 95%. You're basically using gravity to help flush all that waste back towards your core to get processed.
The notes also mention synovial fluid. What is that?
Think of it as motor oil for your joints. It lubricates your knees, your hips. This simple pose helps increase the distribution of that fluid into the joint capsule by up to 43%. So if you wake up with stiff knees, this is why. You are re-greasing the gears.
Okay, that makes sense. Move number 2 is ankle and hip circles.
This one is all about the kinetic chain. So you sit on the edge of the bed and do slow ankle circles, then lie back and do hip circles like you're stirring a giant pot with your knee.
Why start with the ankles? It seems so minor.
Because the ankle is the foundation. It has 26 bones, it's incredibly complex, and when it gets stiff from sitting all day, your knee has to twist to compensate when you walk. That's a huge cause of knee pain. By loosening the ankle, you protect the knee.
Got it. Move 3, the neko-eye flow. This one looks like cat-cow from yoga.
It is, but the focus is different. The visualization is to move like seaweed in the tide.
Seaweed in the tide, so really fluid, not jerky.
Exactly. Soft. And the science here is about cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF. This is the fluid that literally washes your brain and spinal cord, clearing out metabolic waste. This gentle, undulating movement helps pump that fluid, increasing its circulation by about 38%.
So you're literally rinsing your central nervous system before bed.
That's a great way to think about it, yeah. You're prepping the brain's cleaning system.
Okay, fascinating. Move number 4, the lying spinal twist.
This is for decompression. You lie on your back, knees bent, and just let your knees fall to one side. Here's the key fact. We all shrink about ½ an inch during the day because gravity compresses our spinal discs.
I've heard that, so this is how you get it back.
It's how you rehydrate the discs. They don't have a blood supply. They're like sponges. When you compress them, fluid squeezes out. When you twist and release, fresh, nutrient-rich fluid gets sucked back in. It's crucial for lower back pain.
And the last one, number 5, the seated forward fold.
Legs straight out, and just gently walk your hands forward. This releases the whole backside of your body, but more importantly, forward folds are neurologically calming. They lower cortisol. It's like you're folding inward, telling your senses the day is done.
What about breathing during all this?
Yeah, that's the remote control. The recommendation is box breathing. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then pause for 4. That rhythm physically forces your nervous system out of a stress state.
And then there are the sleeping positions. This is where I think I go wrong.
It's so common. If you are a side sleeper, you must put a pillow between your knees.
Must. That's a strong word.
It is. Because if you don't, your top leg falls forward, it pulls on your hip, and it twists your lower back all night long. The pillow keeps your hips and spine neutral.
And for back sleepers.
A pillow under the knees.
Yeah.
It takes the arch and the strain out of your lower back. It's just simple physics.
So if you do all this, does it really change your sleep, or do you just feel looser?
The data suggests it actually changes your sleep architecture. One Japanese study showed that this kind of pre-sleep stretching significantly increased REM sleep.
REM, that's the deep dreaming sleep where all the mental processing happens.
Exactly. And it also increased something called salivary IgA.
Okay, translate that for me.
It's an immune marker. It basically shows how well your first line of defense is working. So by stretching, you're not just relaxing, you're literally boosting your immune system while you sleep. The body won't go into deep repair mode if it feels tense, because tension signals a threat.
So tension equals threat. Relaxation equals safety.
That is the big takeaway. And that links directly to mental health. Another study in the stack showed that even in severe cases like schizophrenia, more physical activity led to higher resilience. Movement is how the brain learns to bounce back.
Let's pivot to our third and final pillar, the longevity diet cheat sheet. We have Dr. Hanahara's olive oil, but we've got some modern data here too.
This is the what to add list.
Yeah.
Harvard identified the big 5 habits that can add, 12 to 14 years to your life. Healthy diet, 30 minutes of activity, healthy weight, no smoking, moderate alcohol.
Okay, that's the baseline. But let's get to the good stuff. The peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
The NBA's secret addiction.
How on earth does a PB&J make a longevity list?
Okay, so a study suggested it could add about 33 minutes to your life. But, and this is a huge but, we're not talking about white bread, sugary peanut butter, and high fructose corn syrup jelly.
Right. A sugar bomb?
No, we're talking about high quality ingredients, whole grain bread for fiber, natural peanut butter for plant protein and healthy fats, and a real fruit jam or just smashed berries for the antioxidants. It's actually a perfectly balanced little nutritional package.
Okay, quality is key. What about the coffee versus tea debate? Dr. Hanahara loved his coffee.
He did. And for brain health, he was right. Data shows 3 to 5 cups of coffee is linked to a 65% reduction in dementia risk. That is massive.
65%. That's incredible.
It is. But tea, especially green tea, is better for cholesterol and for avoiding that big energy crash. So a good strategy might be coffee in the morning for your brain and green tea in the afternoon for your body.
I like that. What about nuts?
Essential. Walnuts and almonds are the stars. Just 2 handfuls a day can slash your cardiovascular mortality risk. It's maybe the easiest, cheapest health intervention there is.
Okay, now for the surprise champion of longevity exercise. I think most people would guess running or swimming.
You'd think so. But the data points to racket sports. Tennis, badminton, pickleball.
Why racket sports?
They have about a 27% lower death risk than other activities. And the theory is it's the and factor. Running is just cardiovascular. But racket sports are cardiovascular and strategic. You have to track a ball, predict your opponent, and they are social.
It's the trifecta: body, brain, and community.
Exactly. Longevity is about integration. And what about strength training? You don't need to be a powerlifter.
I was going to ask.
The sweet spot, believe it or not, is just 30 to 60 minutes per week.
Per week, not per day.
Per week. That small amount is enough to lower mortality risk by 10 to 20%. It's about maintaining muscle to prevent frailty, not about building huge bulk.
That feels so much more achievable. It removes the I don't have time excuse.
And that's really the theme of this whole deep dive, isn't it? None of this is extreme.
So let's tie it all together. We have Dr. Hanahara, who never retired. We have the 5 moves before bed to reset the spine. We have good quality PB&Js and tennis.
The core philosophy, if you synthesize it all, is about flow.
Flow.
Keeping the fluids moving in your body, the synovial fluid, the CSF, the blood, keeping your body moving, the stairs, the tennis, and keeping your purpose moving. Hinahara's real secret wasn't just the olive oil. It was that he never stopped being useful.
He never stagnated.
Exactly. He believed energy comes from feeling good, and feeling good comes from serving others. He stopped thinking about his own age and just focused on the patient in front of him. That outward focus might be the most powerful anti-aging tool there is.
So, here's a thought to leave you with. We talked about ikigai purpose. If you had to design your life to be active and contributing at 105, what would you need to change about your purpose today? Not your diet, your purpose.
That's the real question. If you plan to be around that long, you need a pretty compelling reason to get out of bed for 100 years.
Exactly. So while you think about that, here's your call to action for tonight. Just try one thing. Try the legs up the wall.
Just 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Reverse gravity. See if your legs feel lighter. See if you sleep a little deeper. And if you wake up feeling better, well, you can thank Dr. Hinahara.
Absolutely, give it a shot.
That's our deep dive. Thanks for learning with us.
Stay curious.
Thanks for spending this time with Senior Vitality Podcast. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.